guys, this is Stormouse03, and this is my Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings Dark Difficulty walkthrough. Alright, so we're continuing Chapter 2 here, guys, and what we are going to do now is go down into some tunnels in order to get a better silver sword. So you want to come to the sort of, after you leave the tavern, take that right path and come through the door that you saw me go through. And this is going to take you to a section of the underground in this area. And now I'm going to go ahead and warn you, it is confusing down here. You'll look on your map and there will seem like there are paths that you can take, but you can't figure out where they are, or they're sort of blocked and you can't get to them, etc. And it's very dark down here too. Especially when you have your weapons equipped, it makes it pretty much impossible to see anything. So you'll see that right now. It's just a blur of blackness. What I would suggest for you to do, that I didn't do until much later than I should have, is turn your brightness all the way up when you're down here. That will help you to be able to see what you're doing. Also, if you want to, put your weapons away when you're not fighting enemies, that will also help so that you don't have the problem of that also clouding your sight here. And what our main objective for being down here is to get a silver sword. And that is going to be at the very bottom of this cave system in a little open kind of oval area at the bottom right of the map. But between here and there are a ton of knickers and rot fiends to get through. And there's also a lot of looting that you can do down here. There's a fair amount of silver ore and a lot of iron ore and other things that you can loot from down here. So before you come down here, you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of equipment. You want to be traveling as light as possible because you want to be able to carry as much stuff out of here as you can, both for crafting and this better sword that we're gonna get, and also things that you can sell. And I would suggest, even though you have to go through the majority of the cave system in order to get down to the bottom right where the sword is that we want, go ahead and explore the entire cave system, because you're going to be able to, level up your skills. Here on this guy right there is a key that you're going to need to pick up. So in that open area there, you want to make sure you grab that off of him. So anyway, I was saying, there's a lot of looting that you can do here, and so I would recommend doing as much of that as possible. Try not to run into door frames like an idiot. And once again, these enemies, the rot fiends, they will explode when they die. So you just want to be aware of that. Try to roll away if you can. Sometimes they'll get you trapped into a corner and you can't quite roll away. That's why it's also really important to have your kin on as much as possible, so that in case you do get hit by one of those explosions, it'll mitigate that damage. And so yeah, you're going to see a lot of me running around, not being able to see. You're going to see a lot of fighting knickers and rot fiends. And you're going to see a good bit of this cave system here, guys. Because it is tricky to know where you're going. And I guess that's one of the advantages of a video like this, is that you can kind of learn from where I go and what I do, where it is that you need to be, and where there are enemies, and that kind of thing. You see me setting my medallion off in areas. That's just to see if there's any stuff around the room that I'm not, visually identifying because it's so dark in here. So if you set your medallion off, you can see sacks of like iron ore and stuff that you can pick up from some places in these rooms that you may not be able to see just looking around, because again, everything just looks sort of like walls and rocks and darkness. So it's pretty difficult to see much of anything, and that medallion will help you out a little bit. And I went ahead and did this before moving on with the main quest, just because I want to get these better weapons as quickly as possible. And also, what's cool about these weapons that we're gonna get in this part, and I think we get a better steel sword during the main quest. And the good thing about them is that they are not these cursed weapons. They aren't the dark specific weapons. And so they don't mess up your screen like these do. I mean, I really like the dark armor and the dark weapons, but the drawback to the dark weapons is they really, really do mess up your ability to see things, which is kind of important, especially in areas like this where it's just so easy to get lost. It's hard to tell what you're doing. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see why all these paths are so confusing, because it's like, but it looks like I should be able to go somewhere from here. No, you can't. So just be aware that this is sort of a trek through these caves. And the next part that we're going to be doing, the next main mission, is also down in a cave system like this, in some mines. And you'll see me checking my map kind of often, because it's kind of annoying to tell exactly how you're supposed to get to places. So anyway, I was saying the next part is down also in some of these mines here, and another good thing about going ahead and going into this one and grabbing this silver sword that we're going to get here is that you'll be able to use it during that sequence. And so you'll have a better silver sword, so you'll be able to kill the monsters and stuff that are down there a lot quicker, and B, you won't have the sword messing up your screen, so you'll be able to see a lot better when you're down there too. And that cave system is confusing just like this one, so the more that you can see and the more quickly you can kill things, the better, right? So I'm probably going to speed up my progression through these caves at this point, just because, it's a lot of the same. Going through some tunnels, killing some enemies, trying to make our way down to the bottom right while exploring all of these paths. You saw that I checked my map, and I know that this is a dead end down here, but I'm still going to go check it out, just because I don't want to miss out on any loot or any enemies that I can kill for XP. So something else that I would recommend that you do when you're down here, guys, is to make sure you save pretty consistently, because these are enemies that can surround you if you aren't careful, and they can kill you pretty quickly if you get surrounded by them, and they're getting in hits on you and stuff. So definitely make sure that you save pretty regularly while you're down here. There's no reason not to. You can save as much as you want. So you can also run into walls. That's fun. I don't know what I was doing when I was down here. I think I was trying to look at something on my computer as well. I was probably chatting with someone, and I just kept walking into walls when I would look over at my computer screen. So I apologize for the slight derpiness there. But you saw how, you know, I'm picking up a lot of ore, both iron and silver, from these areas. Right now I'm over to the left part of the map, which, you know, isn't ultimately where we want to be, but it is kind of, you know, a place with a lot of stuff, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. I do think you come through this cave system if you do the roach path. I think you will come through this set of caves. You may actually not go to the other set of caves that we're going to do for the main quest. I think that might be the set of caves that you don't go to. It's one or the other. One of these is the same as one that you will visit in the other path, and the other I don't think you end up going to, so just kind of interesting. So now you'll see we're making our way toward the correct section down here. You saw that we were now sort of in the bottom right of the map, which is good. And when you make your way down here, there's going to be some more rot fiends, and then there's going to be a new type of enemy at the very end called a bullivore. I believe it's called a bullivore, and it's going to be kind of a big, I guess, ogre-like enemy or troll. It's kind of like about the size of the trolls. And so, like many of the larger enemy types, what we're gonna do is basically, you know, put on kin to eliminate some of the damage that you might get, and also just try to roll around it. There are a ton of enemies down here, which is cool because you get the XP for killing all the enemies, and you also will be able to pick up a bunch of stuff off of them that you can sell, like those, you know, necker teeth and necker claws and all that good stuff. And so you see that we're making our way down to the bottom part of the map here, or to the right, the bottom right part of the map here, which is exactly where you want to go. I heard something, and so I'm trying to figure out where that was, but I think it's toward the right here. Yeah, there he is, where you want to go. And you want to try to kill this guy as quickly as possible and try to, you know, keep him out of that, you know, kill him before you head into this main little open area here at the very end, because once you hit that open area, you are going to be fighting the big guy. And so you don't want to have them both to contend with at once. And so here he is, our Bulvor, I guess it is. I guess there's no I in there, just a Bulvor. But again, like a lot of the, you know, big enemies, you wait for him to attack, and then you kind of go in while he's vulnerable, wait until he blocks you, and then roll away. I like to try to get behind them, but he's sort of backed into a corner right now, and so that's a little impossible. So I'm just waiting for him to come attack me. Make sure you stay out of the range of their attacks, and now, you know, once he's out in the open a little bit more, you can get around to his side and behind him, and you're able to get in a lot more hits. So there he is, you kill him, and then this is the room where your prize is going to be. So if you come over to this chest, you will get the blood sword. And so that is a silver sword. It's right here in this room. And I'm going to show you real quick the comparison of these two. And so you can see that it does a lot more damage. And it also does bleeding plus 50% as opposed to 15. Now, it doesn't have that 1% chance of an instant kill, but, you know, that's okay. And so this is definitely the sword that you want to put on as your silver sword at this point. You can enhance it with some moonstones, to make it, you know, have more magic damage and that kind of stuff. But that's definitely what we came for. And you want to go ahead and put that on. You won't be using your steel sword for quite a while, so you don't have to worry about not having the full set equipped as far as it damaging you. And I believe we're going to be picking up a better steel sword when we make our way through the next set of caves in the next video. So I will see you there, guys. Thanks for watching.